PCOS is after my life. Imagine bleeding for 30 days straight. These days, it's very common for you to see a lot of women, young, old, teenagers, complaining about this thing called PCOS. If you don't know the full meaning, it is called polycystic ovary syndrome. So get to know whether you're a guy or you're a lady. You need to know about this because either you yourself or people around you could be dealing with this. PCOS could even lead to you having other diseases. You're more prone to having diabetes, for instance, and we know diabetes is a killer. How is this not a pressing issue? So many women are being diagnosed these days, which I'm even happy that people are even beginning to understand what is even going on in their bodies, because your body is just acting weird. And this all of this I'm even mentioning is even more on the physical side. If we even want to discuss the mental side of this, you would even understand how crazy it is. Like PCOS can make you go crazy, can make you go nuts. For someone like me who has been dealing with PCOS for over 10 years, I got diagnosed when I think I was either 17, and I have had to live with this. Imagine my surprise when I came to understand that there's actually no cure for this. So I was having issues with my period. I wasn't seeing my period like very regularly, and then I went to the doctor because at some point it got to a point where I would only see my period for like maybe one time in 3 or 4 months. I wasn't bothered personally, to be honest with you. I really wasn't bothered because, to be honest, I'm not even pressed for a period. Like the fact that we even have to menstruate every single month is a lot, is even too much. So I was really happy that I didn't even have to menstruate every month. But then it became a bit worrying for me when the month when my period showed up, it lasted for like a whole month. So imagine bleeding for 30 days straight. So I went to my doctors, I went to go and complain like, oh, this is what's going on. And then they began to, run some blood tests and they did like scans, right? No problem. Then eventually they came back to me and they're like, oh, you have this thing called polycystic ovary syndrome. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of it. What does that mean? What are the implications and all of that? And then my doctor went into saying that, okay, it doesn't mean much as at that point. The only time where it would become a thing of concern is when I am ready to give birth in the future, because there's some symptoms of infertility attached to this PCOS. So what they will recommend for me at the moment is birth control or contraceptives. And so imagine as at that time, I was 17 years old, I got put on birth control and I just started taking birth control. I took birth control contraceptives for about a year and a half. All birth control did was literally mask what was going on. It didn't solve anything. So it obviously made me have a period every month as usual, but then that was just about it. And I went through like some of the craziest side effects from using birth control. And you know what? After 1.5 years, I was like, I can't continue to use this birth control. It's getting ridiculous. The fact that I was even taking the pills. So every day I actually had to take the pills. Like that was even, it was too much. So I stopped taking the pills because to me, I thought, oh, my period has regulated, it's been over a year, so it would just continue as, normal. Little did I know what I was even really in for. My period did not continue regularly after a while. It just stopped because, I stopped taking the birth control pills, right? Cool. So fast forward, I've tried quite a number of things because I spoke to family, I spoke to friends, I'm reading online because gosh, there are so many things that comes with PCOS, and it's crazy how this is not at the forefront of medicine, like how they haven't found something that really just takes care of PCOS. It's crazy to me, especially the fact that so many women are dealing with this. But yeah, so you have side effects. Well, I was having side effects like acne, weight gain, bloating, irregular period. Mentally as well, it really began to affect me. So I tried a lot of things, from drinking herbs to taking all these supplements and pills. So many things I did try, And it's also, other than the physical aspects of PCOS, because the physical aspects can show up in like different ways in different people's bodies. Apparently some people complain they have weight loss, and some complain it's weight gain. So like it's just depends on how it's going to show up in your body. Some people like do not have any acne at all, and then some people have like hairs on their chins, and some people don't. Like it's just how your body, you know, displays like this symptoms. Yeah, a couple of years down, I have even given up at this point, because I'm just like, do you know what, this thing should do whatever I want to do, because I can't be asked like with it, because I wake up tired some days. Imagine after having like 8 hours proper full ass sleep, and you wake up and you're still tired. Like that makes absolutely no sense. I've used all the creams, all the products, everything to get rid of my acne, and the acne is not going away. I'm like, what kind of problem is this? Trust me, I tried so many different things, and then I've just realized that, okay, maybe I should see a nutritionist. These days on Twitter, you see how like some people come to say that, oh, herbs and traditional medicine or naturopathic medicine can take care of all ailments. And then I've been seeing this doctor constantly just talk about how, oh, PCOS can be reversed, PCOS can be taken care of, yada yada yada. Cool. You know what, I'm going to speak to this doctor and really find out, okay, how can you help me? This is what I have. What do you recommend? And at this point, my period is like very, very irregular. So I'm like, okay, and I'm feeling down, like even mentally I'm so down, because other than every other thing like that's happening in your life, you're now having to deal with this. So I honestly, I'll say I had even just let go. Like I was just like, whatever. So I started speaking to this doctor, and he recommended a diet change and a few like some supplements and a few other things, and he's like, oh, just try to do this and let's see. So I would say the biggest game changer I've noticed so far is really reducing my sugar and carbs as well. So I would say the first 2 months I was so good. Like I cut out sugar and carbs, like, well, specific carbs, because some carbs are good, by the way. So I cut out like the things that he said you cannot. He said you cannot eat it, not you should, maybe once in a while. He said no. I'm just like, wow, for somebody who has been eating this for how many years of my life, it's going to be very difficult, but I'll try. So the first 2 months, I'll say I was really good. And so I wouldn't have things like bread, pasta, chocolate, sweets, biscuits, like all of that, like zero, it's like nothing, zero, right? Cool. So but I could eat things like rice. You're still allowed to eat rice, but just in like, you know, smaller quantity. You can eat rice, potatoes, plantains, yam, you know, some with fruits as well. Some fruits, not all the fruits. So with fruits, I really personally I like berries anyway. So good thing, berries were like parts of the fruits that I was allowed to eat. So I was like, you know what, that works. So that's what I stuck to. And still on the diet aspect, like you need to equally incorporate like protein. Protein, that's your best friend. Meat, fish, eggs, organs, those are your best friends. Like that's what your meal, like that should be the major chunk of your meal. Also veggies, like you need to be eating a lot of veggies as well. So you can still have carbs, well, like the carbs I mentioned, but just in like just a little bit of them. And yeah, so I would say this, and oh, healthy fats as well, very essential. So healthy, like your healthy fats are like your olive oil, coconut oil, palm oil is good as well, butter, animal fat, ghee. These are like healthy fats. Oils that you should avoid are seed oils. Any type of like seed oils are bad for you. Really interesting, because the seed oils are really terrible for you from what I'm learning. And seed oils are really popularly sold. Like those are, if you go into any supermarket, any market, anywhere, the oils that you find first on the shelves, the biggest ones, are literally the seed oils. All your what's it called, groundnut oil, rapeseed oil, canola oil, like these are all seed oils. And it's crazy because those are the ones pushed to the front. And I don't even understand this life that we're living, because how is it that all the things that are actually good for your body are now even more expensive. Because if you go and observe, between a groundnut oil that you're meant to get versus olive oil, we know how much like olive oil, like a bottle of it costs versus a groundnut oil or canola or rapeseed. Why is it even like that in first place? Like, this even brings me to even question the so-called government all over the world, by the way, they're supposed to be taking care of us. Like, I don't even understand people. And when I'm even talking about government, it's jarring to me. The government is literally me, like a human being like me, like a person like me. So how are you not even bothered? Or how do you even feel? You know the things that are good for the people, right? But then because of your selfish interests, you decide that you would rather give people what's wrong with them, so they end up in the hospital, and then the pharmaceutical companies and the healthcare people, well, not the doctors and nurses that are working in it per se, but the pharmaceutical companies in general, they make more money because they're producing more medicines to treat things that can already be taken care of if we're just eating healthier. Like, that is so crazy to me. Or is it how we learned that eggs are bad for you if you eat too many eggs? I can't even speak. Or is it how they talk about, oh, red meat is so terrible for you? Excuse me. Have you ever noticed how people who do, I'm not promoting any diets per se, but have you ever noticed how people who do the carnivore diets, because they're trying to imitate what our forefathers, like our ancestors, ate in the back, because it was mostly, you know, like the foods in the carnivore diet. Have you ever noticed that these people tend to be like very fit? Generally, they tend to be like very fit. And it's not questionable, because it's like, isn't like, these are the things that the government have told us, like, oh, you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't eat that. You really just need to look at what you're eating. Anything like you're putting in your mouth, you're eating. Yeah, it's a big thing. Oh, another thing I would urge everybody to remove from your diet: MSG, Maggi, Knorr, Star, all the, like, in general in Nigeria, I'm Nigerian anyway, I'm calling Maggi. Remove it from your food. You can literally cook with just like your herbs, your spices, salt, pepper. So that's what I've been doing. I've actually stopped using Maggi at the moment, or any form of MSG. I just use salt. When I'm cooking my chicken, when I'm cooking my meat, when I'm cooking my eggs, I use salt. And do you know what's so interesting? Back in the day, do you know, even to make eggs, I actually used to put like Maggi inside my eggs. Like, gosh, the things I learned. But anyway, because it just, because of the taste, like, you know, when you're used to a taste, I'm just unlearning certain things, and I'm like, do you know what, let me share. One of the things I've said here today would be beneficial to somebody, and so I'm urging people, please share your knowledge, share what you know. You never know who you can help, right? He said, okay, you need to exercise, you need to be exercising as well. And I'm like, I do exercise. I'm like, I go to the gym. And he's like, okay, so what do you do at the gym? And then I told him, and he's like, okay, that's putting too much stress on your body. So apparently with PCOS, you need to observe your body anyway. People have different bodies, but with PCOS, you're better at doing low impact workouts rather than high impact workouts, because that puts stress on your body. And one of the biggest things you also need to remove is stress, because stress causes your symptoms to go crazy. So rather than running, he said walk, or like rather than you know, doing heavy, like, you know, just heavy impact, like going hard on cardio, you're better off just walking there. He said just walk 10k. Or he's like, if you can't even walk 10k, he's like, I need you to walk 5 or 6k. I'm like, okay, doable, that's fine, I could do that. And then he's like, yeah, and then you need to strength train as well, like the weights, you need the muscle, like that will equally help to speed up your metabolism. Maybe when I'm even saying 10k, 5k, it's sounding heavy. Just 30 minutes walk a day is fine. If you can't do anything at all, you cannot lift your weights, you cannot go to the gym, all of that, 30 minutes. And even when I'm talking about lifting weights and all of that, you don't have to be lifting like, I mean, if you have the strength and, you know, your body can get to that point, good. But it's just pick up a little dumbbell, 2 kg, 4 kg, like, you know, little bits like that. Just try your best. Another thing is to like drink a lot of water. You can't have like all these sugary drinks, no soda, like none of that. drink your water. You can put like cucumbers or lemons in your water to make them like have a taste. And so these are like little things that I'll say I've done. And by the 3rd month, my period actually came, and I was like, oh, okay, so this guy knows what he's saying. And after the 3rd month, when my period came, I was still like, oh, this is when, you know, because I had irregular period, okay, maybe this is when my period, you know, was planning to come anyway. And my period lasted for 5 days, and I was like, okay, interesting. And the following month, I kept on with like what we had discussed, although I'm going to be truthful, I actually I had pizza, right? It's not like I eat pizza every day anyway, but I wasn't as strict as the first 2 months. But I had a period the following month as well, and it was for 5 days, because my period is usually 5 days anyway, and it was for 5 days, and I was like, okay. And the following month, okay, and the following month, so like I think it's been like 4 or 5 months now, and I've had a period like every single month, and for like 5 days, and the period stops. Like, it's not even one of those ones where, mind you, before I would even have a period for like 2 weeks, I'm still bleeding, and it wasn't making any sense, or even 4 weeks, right? But yeah, so I would be like, okay, so I'm getting to understand that our lifestyle could really help with just taking care of the symptoms. I actually have not gone for a scan to see if there's a difference in terms of, oh, if I still have the cysts on my ovaries. I haven't gone to check that, but I'll just say so far, generally, just from the physical, like what I can see, there's clearly a difference. And this is me urging people to not give up, and just know that there's hope. There's no cure per se, but like it could be managed. I just wanted to say to someone out there who's really dealing with this that there could be a slight difference. I don't know how it's going to go long term. Obviously, at this point, I'm not going to lie to you people. Like today, I think I ate a cake, I ate a burger, because on some days that's just how I'm feeling. I'm like, the cravings are deep, and I'm going to have, you know, bread, which he's really against wheat. He says wheat is one of like the worst things you can even put in your body, but it's difficult. We're trying our best, like not to eat certain foods and not to eat certain things. But yeah, I just want to say to somebody, like, there's hope. I'm going to keep trying this out. I'm going to be as good as I can with like how I eat. I'm going to keep trying to, you know, hit my steps every day and work out. And the thing is, when you even work out, you actually even feel good. And just practice all of these. Like you would notice the difference in your body until there's some form of cure, which it doesn't even seem like it's at the forefront for there to even be a cure for this. I guess we're just going to have to try to manage this. With my acne, that's something I could talk about in another video, just talking about how like how I've been able to manage my acne, because I've dealt with acne for like 10 plus years, because my acne even started when I was like in my early teens. Like that's how long I've been dealing with acne for. And it's so crazy to me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm literally almost like why am I still dealing with acne in my late 20s? Like, this is crazy. But anyway, we're managing it gradually. I could do like a skincare routine video. If you'd be interested in that, let me know. If you have PCOS and you're dealing with PCOS, how are you managing your PCOS? What has been the biggest game changer for you? What have you done that you know, you need to share to other people to let them know that, hey sister, try this out, this could make you feel better? Because so many women are dealing with this, and it's so crazy how it's literally not at the forefront of medicine, and it's driving me nuts. Something else I'm even understanding is that apparently there are even types of PCOS, which is just, I'm just like, what do you mean there are types? Which I'm not going to get into the types, and that's been a whole other topic on its own. If you want us to go into it, let me know, but it's even a bit more complex. That's not what I'm even trying to go into. Right now, we're trying to figure out what are the best ways for us to manage this PCOS. And even people who have given birth, obviously I've not gotten to the point where like I'm about like, you know, trying to have a child. Some people tend to have issues when it comes to that. Some people it works out okay for them and they are able to have a child easily. Some others find it a bit challenging. There's a bit more that needs to be done. Like, please share what you did, you know, or how your pregnancy went, or how you were able to take in to have a child. Please share that. Let's have a conversation. Comment, please, if you have a way to manage this that you think other people need to know. Please do share. If you have questions, please do share. I was just feeling so frustrated today and so out of it, and I was like, do you know what, I need to talk about this. I need to know that there are people out there who are going through this with me. And I understand that some days it just feels like PCOS is literally after my life. That's how I feel on some days. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I know that there are people feeling this as well. So yeah, and by the way, my name is Edwina. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm just realizing I didn't even say that throughout. But yeah, subscribe to my channel and welcome. Thank you guys and goodbye.